Hello all you card makers, we are here today with a special card featuring, once again, because we do have another one, this is our second one, featuring the TESS-A-PENPAL collection from Thoughtful Studio with the Hellebore, that's the blue floral pattern here, and the Orange Polka Dots. What we did, because these are printable versions right now, they will be available in May, I believe, to purchase online. Probably click the link below or go to the Thoughtful website, Thoughtful Studio website, and you will be able to purchase from there. But right now, what we did is printed 100% sheet of the Hellebore pattern, and then our inside sentiment on the I believe I did it at like a 20%. And then the polka dots obviously are at 100% there. Just to kind of review what the card is going to end up looking like, because this is version 1, because we always do a test card. And there we have it. Polka dots on the inside. This is the 20%. I did it on a little bit different paper this time just because I wanted it to pop a little bit more. You'll see a little bit difference there. This one was using the Strathmore on both the polka dots and on the 20% Hellebore pattern. But I went ahead and made it a little brighter with the other. So you can kind of see a little bit difference there. I like this, it's brighter. And then what we did is, because they are, again, digital versions, I went ahead and just printed out a larger scale flower. That's the one that's on the inside here. And I think I did this, yeah, a little bit smaller. I just felt that it was a bit big. So I did it just slightly smaller. But still bigger than the one on the front that will be floating, which I did that one at the 100%. So that's those pieces. We're going to do the 3 stacked thank you with the circle that will be embossed using an embossing folder, probably from Sizzix. I don't know, I may use a different one. I haven't decided that yet. On the edges here, this is the, and I'm probably not saying this right, but Coliro watercolors. These things are awesome. But that's what we used there and there. This here is the shimmer sprays on top of, actually it was probably just one of them, which is the lemon or vanilla custard, one or the other, over the gradient colored sentiment. Then we put the string on over here. This right here is the embossing powder, and I think on this particular, on the one that we're about to do, I'm going to do the white as well, because I only did it in the markers on this particular version, on inside and out. I also did the sentiment a little bit bigger and in orange, because I just thought that was a little bit, looks a little cooler. So it'll be a little bit different than the other. So that's kind of basically the rundown of all the things that you will need. Oh, and the orange cardstock. This particular one, I believe, is from the Park Lane, double-sided, textured. I think this is an American Crafts, but anyway, that's kind of that. Cool textured, just plain Jane, whatever you can find, orange cardstock. I believe that's it for the rundown of all of what you will need to make this card. Okay, so now we are ready to start the kind of enhancing the embellishments. We have fussy cut, which we didn't need to show. We didn't think that that was necessary. The larger version that I talked about that I had printed out along with the same size as the pattern for those 2 of these, just in case. And so now Patricia is going to kind of show two different techniques on these, kind of a darker one and then a lighter, and then showing basically how to get it to this point, and then I will take over and add in the powdered embossing. So that's pretty much what we're going for. There we go, that's a little better. And that is what we're going to work on right now. So here she is.
Hello everyone. Okay, this is really not rocket science, but I think there are a couple of things that are really necessary to talk about. When you're doing this, you want to have a very sharp pencil. And you want to think about what parts of the flower, and really Marie's done a lot of the work for us here, but what we did is we just added a little bit of white to this just to give it a tiny bit of sparkle. Your flower at the center is going to be darker because that is going back into space. You can see the little pestils and stamens there. Okay, so that's our goal. This one has already been done. It's kind of my go-to. The bigger one is actually a lot easier because you do have less that you can get off on. I'm not doing a whole lot here. I'm just going around the edge very, very rapidly, just to kind of give that a little punch and to sort of separate it from the background that you see there. And also of note, on the new card, the background is a much lighter, brighter, and I think we're going to be a lot happier with it. Okay, just a little bit, because remember, we're going to come in here with some of the Posca markers, so we don't need to go absolutely crazy here. Just a little bit to highlight and make that pop a little bit. And I think when you put them next to each other, you can see there's not a lot of difference, but enough that it does really, really make a difference. I just do this because I think it's such a softer, the Posca markers, it's hard to get that nice gradient where you have, it starts out dark and then it goes lighter and it sort of disappears. That's what we're going for there. I'm not going to mess around with that because that's where some of the embossing is going to go on. Okay, pencils. Yes. Prismacolor, you can get cheaper ones, but you won't be happy. Prismacolor, white and indigo.
Blue indigo.
Blue indigo. Two staples that you should have in your pencil collection anyway. Okay, very obviously you all know what this is. And
love this little fine tip one.
Yes, I do. The big one is a blob, and it's great if you want to do big fat things, but other than that, nay, nay.
If you're drawing on rocks.
If you're, yeah, haven't done any of those. And actually, Mariah and I did go through and look at hellebores, and they're a very fascinating type of flower and come in a lot of varieties. Not getting carried away with this here, because I still want that to be, I want the embossing to show up there. Hitting it with this just so we have a bit. Now see, look at this big old fat thing. So we have a bit of repetition of our color here.
Yeah, and I like how you did the wispies on this one. Out.
Okay, Mariah wants me to wispy on this one with the Posca. Okay, here we go. Now, this is the other thing. That dark background that I put in there is going to show up much better now that I have the contrast of, you just put it down, pull it up, put it down, pull it up. You're making little Harrys.
There you go. That's what I was talking about. Good job.
Okay. Now, I guess the boss is happy here. Okay, I'm now turning over. I don't do embossing. It involves heat.
Well, no, you've got to do some orange. What? And see, you got to, look.
You want me to do the little one?
See, you did orange around there.
I don't know if I love that.
I do. I think it really...
Oh, great. Okay, well,
you got to do it on the little one, too. That's the only one that I know of. I didn't see a skinny one.
I think I have this one here.
Is that what you used?
No, I don't know. Test it out here. Ooh, no, that one's horrible. No, no, no. Nay, nay, nay.
I really tried to have her set up.
Oh, I think this is it. All right, the different, I have no galaxy. Who knew? Again, put it down, pull it up, put it down, pull it up. This does take a little practice.
It's a technique. A little skill.
Okay. Now basically, we do the same thing to the smaller one. Now that's looking, oh, you know,
See?
it's a lot better than this one. See? Practice.
Well, on the inside one. See, that's the big one that's going to go on the inside.
Oh, this goes on the inside. This goes on the outside.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, so you got to give me some wispies and orange.
Wispies here. Okay, orange and white.
Yeah.
So, got to do the little dude here.
One of the other embellishments is going to be, which we're adding. This is a little bit different than the first card.
Just because,
We thought that it needed a little extra something something.
and we have the leaf, and this is, the leaf design is basically,
A larger version of the leaf that's in the pattern.
that is
Kind of based it on
in the paper pattern.
the hellebore.
And this is your, and it, look at that. I mean, you know, that's just absolutely remarkable.
We lucked out. There was no planning.
Apologize for how grody this stamp looks, but as you can see, it's well used.
We've used it on a few things.
And this is the same paper that is used on the background. And voila, there you go. Picks up the dark color, and I think that's really
That's even
nice.
Maybe we do one out here.
I don't think that it would be absolutely a horrible idea. And we do have some that are already made. Oh, so
We always try to test this out, so we're not.
and you always make duplicates because you never know what's going to happen with the embossing. Sometimes it has some lovely surprises for you that are not always pleasant surprises. Now I could put this on one of those lovely little lucite things, but really it's not necessary.
It's big.
Okay, see, that's you know, you just never know. All right, there we go.
So later on we'll fussy cut those. I think I'm
Fussy
going
cut those. I can piddle with them and do a little, you know, outlining there and whatnot, darken that up a little bit. But I don't really think it needs it. In fact, it probably needs some white on top of it. But that
I'll
will
send
be.
that across the table. She can.
Yes, I'll work on that
Flex
out
around.
of camera.
Okay, now I have brought out the glass mat because it seems to work a lot better when doing the embossing. So we're going to be using the Navy Marine Azul Marino Ranger embossing powder. This came in a little kit. Pretty happy about that. Anyway, it seems to be the perfect color for these. So just going to kind of alrighty, quick and simple there. And there we have it. We have an inside and an outside. I'll probably end up doing some on the leaves as well, but I don't know exactly at this moment. And I don't know about the need of... Here, I'll take those. Alright, so to do that enhancement that she just did on the leaves, again it was the white, the indigo blue, powder blue, and I think that's Caribbean prism colors to do that little extra bit of depth on the leaf. Probably going to use those. I like it. Alright, and now we're going to cut the card, do all that stuff. We'll probably just fast forward through that, so stay tuned. All right, next step here is going to be getting our circle. We, after a little bit of kind of back and forth, figuring out if we wanted to use the same embossing folder as we did on this first one. We didn't have this one at the time, so nor when we first planned this card out had we thought about doing the thread. That's where things kind of changed on this card, was that little bit of thread. And that was the need for creating the quote, because as you'll kind of read in the blog, we just couldn't find anything. Mom spent a lot longer than she probably should have looking through quotes, and there just wasn't the right one. So once we added the thread, we needed the quote. The quote is for being the thread that stitches me back together when the seams start to fray. Because we just thought that was a really nice thank you. Like, it's friendship, it's a lot of things. It's just that one little moment in life when somebody kind of does something nice to you, for you, that helps hold it together. And that all started with the one little piece of thread, because we're like, oh, that would be really cool. And so that just kind of had its own little thing. But the piece in the back there was already done. We think this one looks more like fabric, so really fits in with the theme more so. But I think that the feeling on this card was a little bit overtaken, more so with thread. I'm hoping this is going to look cool. If it doesn't, then we'll go back and we'll do the same folder that one was. This one, the Tim Holtz Sizzix. Love this one. Use this one quite a bit. But I do think that, I'm not sure what brand this one is. I think it's the American Craft stuff, because it came in a little kit. There we go. When this starts out, it is a bit like, woo, that looks like a lot. I love these makeup sponges. I'm sure a lot of you just use the cool little dauber things, but I had these, so that's what I'm using. And I've noticed this particular paper, which is the Neenah 65-pound cover, is a little bit different than this particular one, which was the Strathmore. This is a lot heavier weight for one. This kind of has a finish on it, which is interesting. It's a little bit different. And of course, so that was the Mr. Huey's shell. Good luck finding them if you do, or if you have some and want to send them to us. We would love them. Because you cannot find them anymore. And the shimmer. Of course, shimmer. Why not shimmer? I don't know if I put shimmer on that one, but it needs shimmer. Everything needs shimmer. I'm gonna run this through the, as my daughter calls it, the winder. Oh yeah, that looks cool. I think that's gonna be pretty nifty. Alright, now we have the circle all done. It's dried a bit. We're going to go ahead and color our sentiment. Now, like I said, on the first card, the string happened after I had done the sentiment. So in this particular one, I'm going to kind of do it a little bit opposite and start with the yellow and move on into the orange, so it just hits it a bit more, matches up better. So here are my, let's see, orange, tangerine, melon, yellow, and pastel yellow. I'm gonna start with the pastel yellow up in the corner, fat end. Looking pretty good. Add some sparkle. I'm gonna go ahead with our vanilla custard. Spray doesn't work right now, so we're just gonna paint it on. Sometimes that's better anyway. And you can see that amber, when I put it on there, it was a little bit, ooh, but it's already starting to lighten up, and which you needed that to darken up a bit anyway. So now I'm gonna go in with the lemon zest. Alrighty, now our sentiment's drying. It's still a little wet, but it is drying, and I think looking quite good. Quite good. Like I said, I wanted to switch this one around a little bit, and I got more fade. I didn't do, like, this was just 2 markers, I think, and then you saw that I did 4, plus the sprays, and I think that's a lot better looking gradient fade. Now we're going to measure out the hemp cord. Now this is from Hemptique. Love this stuff. We didn't have it for the first card, so this is just a linen one. We really have enjoyed the Hemptique. I was going to do more measure, and I'll kind of put the length. Let's see. So I can have an approximate. I think that should be, I don't know, we'll say 9 inches. We're gonna cut. There we go. We ended up having to put it on here because we struggled a little bit with this original packaging. It was hard to find the start and end. So that was a bit tricky, FYI. So we used our toilet paper roll and then just cut a slit in it and that off to the side. Also on this one, because the thread was a bit of an afterthought, I glued it down after I had already glued the sentiment, which was a bit tricky. This will be a lot easier. I can just glue it to the back side there, and then I'll have it ready for when I get it onto the card, the rest of everything. I'm gonna do that right now. Had to touch up some of the layers. When you do these sprays and even the markers, sometimes in certain spots it will start to lift a bit. Just add some glue, you'll be good to go. And of course we love our art glitter glue. You will need probably all in all, because that was 9 inches plus, I don't know, and probably another 4 or 5 inches, so, well, probably, yeah, to do the part on the inside of your string. So all in all, anywhere from 12 to 14 inches string. And we have our little tail. Look at that. Oop. I don't know if I can duplicate that again. Hopefully I can. We'll see. So let's put this off to the side. And I'm going to possibly do the leaf too with it, aren't I? So I need to cut this out. Let's do that real quick and see what it looks like. No, it might be a bit big for the front. We'll see about that. Alright, so I'm going to start assembling the main sentiment, at least, so that can kind of be drying. While we're cutting out, ripping, and doing all of our other stuff. Alrighty. Just gonna cut this to 10. By 7. This is kind of thin enough that I don't have to score it, but it is a little bit brighter orange on the inside. See? Going with the brighter orange on the inside. I like the darker here. There we go. This way I can start to figure out where I'm going to tear. How much. To curl up and around. Because I like that. So yeah, so it's going to be a little bit different positioning. Like that much there. Go ahead and gild these sides. Let's do that. I'm going to try to do this a little less watery than I did on the first one. Just because I got a lot of bleed there and I don't exactly love how it dried. So I'm going to try to keep this a little less watery. And there we have it. Our gilded edges. Let that dry for a moment. Alright, while our gilded edges are drying, we're going to go ahead and assemble the inside of the card, which will be good. I think I kind of messed up on that on the first one where I'd already had the sentiments and all that chunky stuff on the front. And that was kind of a pain. So let's try to avoid that this time. Make things a bit easier on ourselves. When I printed this out, I made sure that I had enough area here to kind of to position this top to bottom where I wanted it. Righty then. Now that we have our inside pretty much laid out, yeah, dry here, like that. So, let's see here. Very pretty. This is a little bit tedious, but we're going to go ahead and do the swirl part. You can see, I think on this one my circle was a little bit bigger. Our positioning is ever so slightly different, but I'm still going to come up and around and circle there. Okay, now you can see we have finished up putting the thread on. We can do the last little bit, and just note I did go ahead and add a little piece right here. I didn't like how the edge was looking along there, so I just went ahead. I have some just covered, kind of dark blue cardstock. It's really pretty cool stuff. We got this at Clamp It Paper, and they're discontinued, so I don't even really know what brand and stuff it is, but any type of kind of navy blue, bluish accent piece would be really nice along here. Didn't do it on this one. Had it a little lined up better, so that's one reason I wanted to do it, and I just think it's kind of cool looking, so that should be a little difference that we're gonna do here. So we're on the last leg of this. I need that other additional little piece. And there we have it. And I do have plenty of materials, which I always decorate the flap of the envelope. I have the extra orange. I have the extra piece from the front of the card. And then I have little strips, voila. And I even have extra flowers, so I probably will go ahead and add a flower to that. And I will need a little extra string for it as well, so I think probably 20 inches of string all in all at this point. There we have it. The decorated envelope flap. And there we have it. The Thoughtful Studio Hellebore and Orange Polka Dot paper for our thank you thread card. All done. Thank you for watching.